Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Riot Studio League of Legends Season 3 qualifiers. We finally just had our first online qualifier team make it through in the last one, actually. As we come in, I'm rooting for the third with Joshua, Jat, Leesman. A few more matches to go underway. The final match of the day is Azure Gaming versus Cloud9.
And I can't say Azure properly 3 games
Azure.
in a row. Azure? Got it.
No, you don't.
Done and go. All right, so Cloud9, someone we haven't seen quite yet. They lost that. For those of you who saw it, I unfortunately did not.
Oh, man.
Amazing base race game that DJ Wheat was just over telling us about. It seemed like Cloud9 was in complete control of that first game.
Yeah.
And then out of the blue, 3 guys in their base cleaning everything up, and they couldn't make it back in time. So that sounds amazing. The road that Marn took to make it seems incredible. We have to move on to this next game because Cloud9, for those of you who don't know who Cloud9 is, if you know Orbit,
They are.
or Quantic, or Nom Nom, or Reddit Nation, they are now Cloud9. That's the team of Yuzuki, Heil9, Nyan Tanso, Wild Turtle, who had an amazing show at IPL4, and then also Lemon Nation. So we know them before. They've been very close to the cusp. They were the 9th team of the 8 for the North American qualifiers. They're very close to being good enough so long. This would be their chance to get in.
You know, and they have a great team, too. They have Nyan Tanso in middle, and I actually have just come to like him as one of those players because he's unorthodox. He likes to play mid like an AD carry because he used to be one, and I get a kick out of that.
It's really funny, actually, because he was the Vayne and Ezreal kind of superstar. He was the first North American to do the max W build on Ezreal back in the day when no one else could do it, and he just took people by storm with it. And then he was just like, you know, I'm tired of AD carry. I'm going to go to mid and play different things. And people just made fun of him. It's like, dude, you just play AD's mid.
Yeah.
Like, you just changed lanes. You didn't change your character set.
They're not different. I was talking to Heil9. He said he had some tricks up his sleeve, something new that people don't see. He said an old jungler. So we'll have to say, I don't know what that means.
Old jungler.
I mean, Amumu's an old jungler, so he could just be pulling my leg.
No.
What? I was about to believe you because you're Jat and what the color says is the gospel, but you lied to me.
Is he the oldest champion in League of Legends?
I don't know.
He's a timekeeper, so I feel like he could be. All right. Random tangent. Sorry about that.
Also, lemons. What's up with lemons? I got to ask everybody that. Lemon Nation? All right. Anyways,
Too many lemon names, but losers eliminated. These guys are going to have to set up again, and the emotional roller coaster that Azure must be on after that one. They had that game in the bag.
Yeah.
So did Cloud9, if I hear about that. They both just got marned, as far as I can tell.
Dude, well, when you have 0%,
0%
there's
chance.
not much to work with.
You feel like you got 100%, but really you have 0%.
Yeah, it hurts. So Yuzuki, Heil9, Nyan Tanso, as you said, Wild Turtle, and really Wild Turtle has I would say, maybe I would say the most experience because he's kind of subbed for a lot of people.
Yeah, and these guys play crazy, in all honesty. Yuzuki was one of the first people to do Katarina top lane. They run things like Gangplank mid, Lee Sin mid, Jarvan mid. Like, Nyan Tanso plays all the ADs, Talon, Kha'Zix, all that stuff. Wild Turtle, even though he used to play a lot of Gragas and crazy Ryze type things in mid lane, wasn't Ryze not crazy in mid lane. Gragas was a little unorthodox. But now that he's as an AD carry, really everyone on that team plays tough. And just look at that team right now. They are dejected. They have to pick themselves up. It doesn't matter that they lost that last game. It's still win a game and make it in. They have to get their mojo back because, man, they look a little defeated in that shot.
You know what? When we were watching the game of Pulse Esports before, I forgot what their last matchup was. I apologize. But right after they got dove 3 at bottom.
The Brunch Club was against
them.
Yeah,
you just saw they were playing, and it was like, boom. You can see it right away. Physically, that these guys have a different mentality already. And then you give them 10, 15 minutes and they'll come back in. But you're right. They are on their heels, and this is going to hurt because their first game, they played well. Both teams played well. That's kind of the story here. All the teams are playing well. It's like that final mistake that's not even a throw.
And I have to go back to Prawley's comment earlier about this group stage format. Going 2-0 is easier than going 2-1.
Way better road.
It's easier. It's so hard to come back after defeat. The fact that Cloud9 has already done that, knocking the salad bar out of the tournament, they have their momentum back. That means a lot.
It does. And you know what? This game, unfortunately, will dash the hopes of one more team. This is an elimination matchup. It is our final group of the day. As we move on to tomorrow, all the first-place teams play a second-place team of another group until we dwindle it down to 4. And then on that last day, one team walks away with a contract.
Yeah, so we actually should have the matchups coming up for that, right?
Yeah. I'd say.
I should have the matchups.
Just
But
about.
there's the brother matchup coming up for Team Marn,
so
actually.
good.
The
Marn and Nick Wu.
Marn and Nick Wu.
Or Clicky D and Nick Wu.
Clicky D and
But
Nick
yes,
Wu.
Marn's team.
Yes, you are correct, sir.
So that'll be really nice. Sibling rivalry coming into play here. We've had it a few times with the Dins. Now coming in, I don't know what their last names are.
So the
Ds.
matchups we're going to have for tomorrow are going to be pretty awesome. Fear versus Meat Playground.
Great find.
Is the first one. Yeah, so Fear is going to be coming in. They're one of the big favorites, in all honesty.
For sure.
Second seed.
Of course they are. I was sitting out by Gnome saying, she's like, I'll breathe at the end of the day. I'm like, I can't breathe right now. But they played all their matches well, and really they went through as they should. Clean cut here.
Meat Playground looked strong.
Yep.
And then they got beaten up a little bit by Dirt Nap Gaming at the end of the day. They got just completely obliterated by Prawley's mid Jason, one of those matchups. That's going to be a tricky one. And the next matchup then, Dirt Nap Gaming versus Good Game University. Got any comments?
Not really.
Really?
I mean, Good Game University is quite strong right now. I'd actually, when you said those names, Good Game University came into my head.
Yeah, they used to be Team Dynamic.
Right.
Yep. Nintendo Dex. Honestly, this day has been so long. People that can keep all of this in their active memory are
Amazing.
my idols.
That's
right
why
now.
I was like, wow, who's on that roster? Besides the Team
applaud
Dynamic?
everyone who has stayed on the stream for this
sure.
long. It's not that it hasn't been entertaining, but this has been a long day. We started at 11 Pacific time. We're now at 11:30 Pacific time, p.m. 12 and a half hours. We've been going for more than 37 minutes, I assure you.
Yeah. That's all right. You're trained. You're fine. You have another, how many hours left in you?
Got about 4.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good. So this match can go on forever. We'll beat the Legion one on this.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get it out there. So you guys saw them, all the guys setting up on their computers, Cloud9 versus Azure Gaming here. If you're just joining us on the A stream, it's actually the only stream going right now since it's our final match of the day. Nothing on the B. That was, I believe, D-Man and Kobe ripping it up over there for the matches when they got to see that base race. Jerks. I got to check that out.
Yeah, the group format that's come out here. We're not going to break down all the matchups, but at least we'll tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. So Fear vs. Meat Playground is going to be the first one out of the blocks. That starts at 11 a.m.
You're good. You got it.
PST.
Maybe you have a few hours left.
11 a.m. PST. And then from there, we're just going to roll through. Dirt Nap Gaming versus Good Game University is going to be after that. Then Curse versus the winner of this next game. So either Azure Gaming or Cloud9. And then Marn versus the Brunch Club at the end of the day.
That's going to be a sweet game. That'll be a great day closer.
I want to cast that one.
Schedule it.
I think I'm not casting that one. I just thought about it. I'm not doing it. Oh, well.
Oh, well. So there's games, everything that's happening here, I mean, you've played professionally, Jat.
Only for a while.
Only for a while.
These
but
guys
you
have
did.
long surpassed me in skill.
Skill, but the experience, the knowledge, knowing that, you go to a tournament and your team's going to win 50 grand, right? It's not going to change your life, but you think that's badass. I could win 10 grand of that as long as a percentage doesn't go to the team, which it does. But these guys are going to win a lot of money. The mentality about winning the 10 grand is somewhat similar. What were you thinking? You're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. What's on your mind?
I'm weird.
Oh, dear.
I wasn't thinking about the money.
Did I just open a can?
No.
Okay, good.
I wasn't thinking about. Yeah, I'm weird, so I wanted to do. Whoa! That's not what I meant. I wasn't thinking about the money. In all honesty, it was all about competing. But I was in a slightly different shoes than a lot of those guys because I'd had some serious full-time jobs before. I'd been working for a while, so I'd managed money a bit. But for a lot of these guys who hadn't potentially had the big-time jobs before, if they get that check the first time, they're just like, wow.
I'm going to spend this.
Yeah, Shushay, after the Season 1 champions, do you remember? He was, what are you going to buy? He was like, I'm going to buy armor.
Armor!
He bought armor and a sword. He bought a sword in New York and then brought it back, checking that sword at the airport. I want to know who was with him because he brought it back to Europe with him afterwards.
I want to know how you check a sword. I'd be like, walk into the airport with a sword. Be like, no, I'm checking it. Just let me walk over here. Don't worry about it. Well, that's amazing, though. But these guys now are going to have their absolute lives changed. A complete salary job. We hear people going to school. And we definitely want to mention that these guys aren't like, I'm dropping school because of this. Whether it happened or not, they were on this team before, and they said, this is the path I want to take right now. And each one of them says school is still in the later future, for sure.
Absolutely. These guys are taking some time off, in all honesty. Like, they're not putting education completely just screw you. But it's a matter of, it's an opportunity of a lifetime for a lot of these guys. How many millions of people play games, and how many people get to play them professionally? It's going to be 40 in North American League, right? 40 divided by a million is not that much.
That brain just exploded.
Yeah.
Percentages. All the damages. So as they continue to set up, there you have them. Cloud9, amongst other names. Oh, he's wearing his PAX shirt. How nice. And I believe that is Yuzuki right there.
Yeah,
Yuzuki
Yuzuki on the right.
Nyantanso. We have High in the middle, the jungler controlling, I guess, the call. So it looks like he may be yelling left and right to his team there. And there's Lemon Nation. And here we have Azure Gaming.
Yeah, you can see on the very far end you have Demon Lull. Right next to him is Bloodwater. So many of these teams, even though they're talking on their headsets so frequently, they still sit them beside themselves. Yeah. And usually you'll see the caller in the middle. Some teams are different, but usually you throw that guy right in the middle.
Where did you sit?
Sat in the middle.
Oh, you were the yeller.
I was the yelling guy. I talked a lot.
I guess that works out.
Told the Void Boy to ward. Took him a long time to learn how to ward. Then he started doing it.
We'll have to watch the curse match.
I was really happy about it.
It took a lot of weight off his shoulders.
It is incredible how much Void Boy has improved. Like, he was really good then, but I cannot speak enough. Like, even though I haven't been playing as much from when I was professional, like, I'm not even close to these guys anymore. Like, they have surpassed me in so many ways. Like, the amount of mistakes they make and the reaction times and the plays they can make, like, it really shows that they've been practicing hard for 3 years. They're continually improving and getting better and better.
So they're past what people think when they're good. They are super fun to be worked on.
There's levels of getting better. I mean, even in the teleprompter thing I did earlier with Void Boy playing Elise, he made 2 mistakes in that play, but it was incredible. Right? Like, there was still moves to prove. He missed his Elise stun when he jumped up into the air. He didn't stay there long enough before he hopped down, but he did so many other remarkable things during that play that it was still awesome, but it still showed that there was room for him to improve. In the one small gank attempt.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
You were badass on that teleprompter, too, and you should tweet that at chat, because that was kick-ass.
Well, thank you. At Riot Chat.
At Riot Chat. Tell us straighter. We said prompter a million times.
Riv. We did it again. AZG.
Azure?
Yeah.
We'll bring it back in with that one, so we said it right. We're good.
Perfect.
Awesome. So these guys still setting up. As we get this game underway, I'm sure they're just like, let's draw this out because I'm tense, could probably hardly breathe. Their nerves are just, like you said, why are my hands cold? Like, my hands are cold. These guys have a lot of different conditions they're under right now, and it's nice in here. It's a great temperature. You know, usually MLG, they have the cases which are pumped air into, so they get a little chilly because you have 5 computers running in there with dudes yelling and screaming. It gets a little warm. But, yeah, under all conditions, this is, you know, fantastic. These guys have said they enjoyed it. Everybody loves the studio that's been in here before, and, you know, hopefully someday we'll get some sweet pictures out that people can see.
Yeah, and it's amazing that we've made it through this day. I have to say, 16 teams all being shuttled to and from this place, setting up with the computers. Right. Very minimal delays throughout the entire day when you consider that 60 different people have had to play on 20 different computers. Settings, drivers, hardware, and we're on the last game. I should be knocking on some wood here because people are going to destroy me when this game gets going down. But it's been awesome. We have some of the small delays, but that's because Cloud9 had to come from the other stage to set up here. Azure, those seats have got to be getting warm because they've been here all 3 games. I almost want to hazard to say they're the first team to spend all 3 games on the main stage, but it's been quite a day for the North American Regionals, and it's quite a preview for the season we have ahead of us.
You know what? We have more to come, a full year of it, and actually halfway through, these teams are going to have to vie again for this spot.
It's true.
Yeah.
The drop-down,
the
play
drop.
for. There's a name for it. I have it. Not right now, though.
All right, few minutes, you'll get it.
It's the games where mid-season, the bottom 4 teams have to play off with the top 4 teams from the Challenger circuit for the last 4 spots in the championship series.
Best explanation ever.
There's a name for that, though.
You just did it.
All right.
All right.
Let's do it.
So coming into this one, if you're just joining us here, we are in a final matchup of the night. No, we have not ended it. Yes, you did take a long time in the bathroom, but that's all right. We haven't started yet. It is going to be Cloud9 versus Azure Gaming, and these guys are going from 1-1s, man. This is that 2, win 2, lose 2, and they are looking to not lose that second one.
Both of these teams dropping to Team Marn. Cloud9 used to be Orbit, then X-Quantic, then Nom Nom. At one point, they were Reddit Nation. Just giving you guys some context so we know who Cloud9 is, because it is a new sponsor just picked up their team, but it should be their sponsor for the foreseeable future. And then, of course, we have Azure Gaming. They have Demonlull, who used to be on Team Legion. He is supported by Bloodwater, who used to be on CLG Black. Then we have Shousters, DJ Lambo, and Nothing Here, who are very new to the scene.
Yep.
Nothing Here, though, primarily an AD player, so he is having to play off-role here. I'd have to say he's actually done quite well thus far.
He really is, because in the 2v1 lanes, it seems like he has the upper hand. We saw a game between Singed and him where Singed had 9. He had about 15, 16. Jumping into the game here now, guys, our final matchup. Day 1 of the North American qualifiers here for your League of Legends Championship Series. This is the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to end this matchup. Before it begins, see if the picks and bans can do that for either team.
I can see that Twisted Fate ban, and when we were doing our scouting, we knew that Shousters played the majority of his games on Twisted Fate, but I was surprised to actually see him not pick or ban it in any of the games previously. Even with that, though, Cloud9 decided, let's get that out of there. We do not want to have to deal with that. Of course, Katarina, Kha'Zix, and Elise very much just taking away the assassins. Locked in that first pick, Nunu.
Nunu is going to be there. Could see a Caitlyn coming out on either side if they want to get that objective or poke composition going down, but really too early to tell. The Amumu goes down, so the Amumu Nunu have been chosen. 2 of those picks that have been very favorited throughout the tournament. Chat, if they haven't been on the ban list, they have been in the champion list. And I don't think Amumu's been... Has he been banned? Because he's been picked pretty much every game.
He hasn't been banned that much. We've seen a lot of them. The return of Amumu, almost, so to speak. He was sneaking into the OGN League, winning a ton of games. He was so far out of the competitive scene for so long, but he's really just coming in here. And if that would be a pretty mean combo. We talk about Amumu MF, but what about Amumu Twitch locking up that Curse of the Sad Mummy with Twitch's Spray and Pray, or his attacks can hit the entire team?
It would be interesting to see if they pick up the Katarina for the composition we saw earlier of that lockdown. It is banned. I didn't see the left side.
So
it's in front of me, but I didn't see.
AZG, if they go for this Nocturne again, in all honesty, what they did last game wasn't that bad. They just had to close. Like, everything they did up to the point, they were playing so crisp at the start of that Team Marn game, they just couldn't finish.
I feel like there has to be a little bit more communication with Lambo, though, because when, we saw nothing here take all that damage in the beginning, he dove past the entire team to initiate the fight when they should have backed off on that. So those initiations kind of dug them into the fights they didn't want to be in sometimes. So it could work. It couldn't. Like you said, it worked for them in the beginning. If they can just kind of get that to work every time now.
And if they go for that MF, even though it kind of hamstrings Demonlull, makes him a little bit less mobile, he was so mobile on Ezreal, and that kind of carried him through.
Yep.
It's a good almost combo to Amumu, because when Amumu goes in, we talked about this earlier, he pops his ultimate, everyone wants to go right in with him. If they fly right into a bullet time, that's trouble. It's a pretty good counter pick.
It indeed is. It's kind of weird how that works. Beast Tanso, Neon Tanso switching up the name. Wild Turtle.
Don't do that, Beast Tanso. We have a feature on you where your name is Neon Tanso. Don't change your name to Beast Tanso. It's not cool.
He's Asian again. Wild Turtle to look for the pick. They do have an AD carry out. They do have the jungler and the support, so they could go ahead, pick whatever they want, or just pick one of those, not show anything. They have this. The purple team has always been just saving last pick mid to get that counter in.
It's
simple.
It's seemingly that all the time. Riven going down. Something AZG is going to be having nightmares about. They did a really good job 1v2ing against Mega Zero that entire game, but then just could not handle him in team fights. I'd expect them to do the same in this game. They are seemingly really good 1v2 laners. They go with Olaf, though. That'll be a bit of a change from Nothing Here.
Yeah, Demonlull and Bloodwater had such a great composition. You were right last game. We touched on it 3 or 4 times in the fact that they were just micro in and out. Beautiful snowballs from Nunu to just continue the attacks. So these guys have it down as a bottom lane pact. We're looking to see what Demonlull will pick up for that AP mid.
He's got a couple seconds left. The thing is here, he just doesn't know what Beast Tanso is going to be throwing back at him, because he plays everything. He plays from the ADs to the APs, but like Lee Sin, Gangplank, things he's very comfortable on. Kha'Zix is obviously banned, so he's not able to get something like that. sky's the limit.
They did put Lee Sin over where Beast Tonso was earlier, but they chose to go with Riven. They chose to take the top lane since Bloodwater had not chosen Olaf for them yet, so they may still take Lee.
All right.
It'd be a lot of AD, though.
They got to go up against Orianna. And I remember I was talking with Froggen way back in the day. He was telling me what beats Orianna. He said,
I really like Ahri.
He says Corki beats Orianna.
Corki?
He said Corki beats Orianna. But Teamfights Orianna also beats Corki, and that's what happened in the tournament. But it could still happen if he decides to get it here.
Oh, man.
This is the slowest pick ban I think I've seen in all these guys. These guys are really worried about it.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't they be? The last team to be able to go through into tomorrow where no one's actually getting eliminated. 4 teams are going to qualify for Season 3 tomorrow. What are they going to go with this last pick? If I had to totally throw something in the dark, I'd say Gangplank.
They have 10 seconds left. Niantanso does like that Gangplank. We do say he plays the ADs in mid.
Yeah.
3 seconds left. Oh my
goodness.
gosh. You have
I didn't think you'd do it.
You have a crystal ball. I'm just going to say it. Where is it?
Broke. All right, so these team comps are going to be really interesting. It's a lot about single initiation for Cloud9. Amumu has to go in. Lulu's going to try to pop up after that, and that's their window. They have to get all their damage out right then, because once Amumu goes down, they have nobody else to take damage. Everyone else is going to melt. We saw that one game earlier where it was the LeBlanc combo with LeBlanc, Eve, and who was the third squishy?
There was a jump in. It was on top. Oh my gosh.
LeBlanc, Eve, and another squishy. And it was going great until a team fight happened because no one was allowed to take damage and they all died. So for Azure Gaming, it's going to be the same thing here. They have people who can take damage. If they withstand the initial burst from Cloud9, Nocturne, Olaf, and Misfortune are going to clean the house with them. It'll be a very interesting team fight phase.
This is going to be an absolutely amazing game. The Corki pick coming out in middle, that's a lot of mobility for a mid to have if he's going to push that lane, but Orianna plays the same role, so we have another 2 lanes. Is that Corki a roaming lane?
No, Corki's shoving, completely farm up, try to crush down. That's really what he does. He tries to keep Orianna out of the game, stays in, just out-trades him, does not allow Orianna to do much to him. It's an interesting matchup. I want to see how he plays it.
It's going to be awesome. They do have the Lulu Ultimate Wild Growth on Amumu, which can give them a little bit of an extra factor in the fight to have that one tank, as you say, because once he does go down, it's going to be a quick slaughter, so they have to be very careful with their engagements.
There'll be a little bit of added help because the Lulu Ultimate will keep him up, and Yuzuki will be able to support a little bit on Riven, but it's going to be dangerous.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, still with us. 12+ hours strong here on the North American Season Qualifier stream. Riven Jat bringing you the last elimination matchup of the day in Group 4. We have Azure Gaming versus Cloud9. Jat, we've seen a lot of the minute 40 invades coming in, but some rather different actions after that. But we'll see what these guys have to do. These invades have been quite interesting.
This is the first time Azure Gaming is on the blue side. The previous 2 matches, they were up with the red to get the deep ward in. And it looks like they're not going to be doing a 5-man invade, if I had to guess. They've kind of worked out for them early on in the games, but they weren't able to take them in for the rest of the victories. They actually they expect a ward in their own Wraith Brush, and they're actually very cautious that Cloud9 could be in their own jungle. They're going in blind here.
Yeah, they've put a few wards in and completely backed off for that cautious play here. Nobody wants to give up a kill. They're actually walking right around on that ward. You see Riven kind of coming down, or just, no, she's not. I thought they were saying, yes, let's actually do this. They're going to wait it out. They still have quite a bit of time before the minions get out. Will they run? Where's Lulu going to go after this? Twitch is staying bottom, but it looks like they're leaving a lot of support to that mid.
But Cloud9 has a huge amount of information here since everyone went over that ward in the Wraith Brush. They're going to try to stop Nocturne during these wraiths. They don't know he's here. If they get around on GG Lambo, they could get a kill.
Oh, he is going to see him. They get the Q right into it, but they turn and see Olaf on the top side. It was just kind of a switch in eyesight there. They kind of went off.
They're going to push Nocturne over to his red buff, and I'd almost say that was a bit of impatience. If they would have waited for Nocturne to completely engage in on that wolf camp, they could have cornered him and at least forced him to burn flash. But considering the amount of surprise they had there, not even forcing Nocturne to get a flash, only taking the blue buff, and instead just making DJ Lambo do red, isn't a big win for Cloud9.
No, this is sometimes a regular start for Nocturne, so he could go for that early gank if required. He is going to have vision on him, though. No, he goes for golems. So knowing he started red, they're going to actually they're possibly going to realize this early gank. Lulu trying to make her way down through mid, so Twitch is going to have a bit of a tough time here in the early part.
Yeah, and I also got to point out just one of the new things with Season 3, that was 6 wards that got placed at level 1. So much vision is going out right away.
Right.
Just completely
Oh my
takes it up.
gosh.
3 on each side. Like, these guys really do not want to get caught off guard. It was one of the intended changes, though. Early jungle pressure was really destroying a lot of lanes, and they had to fix that up. But with that, you know, that's what happens. We've still seen some early invades. It's a lot of tactical moves there.
Yep, here's the steal and the transfer now over to Corki in middle. A blue buff right off the bat is not going to spell good things for Orianna.
And 10-8, that was great because they stole the blue buff and gave their own blue buff away. Niantanso level 3 to Shouster's level 2, and normally Corki's constrained by that Phosphorus Bar mana cost. Not gonna be the case anymore.
Yeah, that burst damage becomes so much more effective for him, and that is going to hurt. Shouster's probably forced to not just go QWQ. He takes the shield at 3. We'll see him just trying to stay in his lane. Bistanzo trying to give a little bit of harass to DJ Lambo.
He really wanted to get that Wraith Brush, and you could see that DJ Lambo was very smart to make sure he spiked down all of the Wraiths at once so Phosphorus Bomb couldn't steal it.
All right, they have the ping on high on 9. We'll have to see if Lambo chooses to make a move here. They know that the jungler is top side. The gank bottom is pushed. The lane gank, no, the red ward is going to be in the bush, so they won't go for that. He might. They don't know it.
Yeah, Demon Null and Bloodwater again showing pretty good strength against Cloud9's bot lane here. Even though it's early, 20-15 is already a bit of an advantage. So for once an Azure game doesn't have the lane swap, I'm really surprised too, because going up 1v1 against Driven is usually pretty dangerous.
And this looks quite painful for Shousters here. You can see him almost out of mana trying to farm with Dissonance, and it's not working out for him. Looks like Olaf had to back in that top lane, and Mumu goes, wastes a bit of time up there, but High will enter back. I think he only gets himself some wards, and picks up actually a Doran shield for a little health regen and armor.
So how is Olaf winning this lane against Shizuki? I don't think there's been too many ganks, but here the pressure goes on to Wild Turtle. He's got to stealth away. He disappeared at the right time.
Wild Turtle could get hit again. He turns around. The exhaust goes down. Demon makes it out alive. First blood coming out for Demon.
That was a lapse in judgment for Wild Turtle. He went a little bit crazy because he'd stealthed away. He was safe. Demon was not going to finish him off. Then he realized his support was caught out as well, decided to re-reveal himself, gave away first blood.
I think he might have cleansed before the exhaust as well, because it looks like it went off fast. But nonetheless, that fight happened. That fight is over. We only have a 700 gold lead there, so not too much going on after that. It's not really going to be definitive anywhere, but it does mean that that bottom lane, not having its support in the beginning, had an effect there.
It's pretty much very true, and if they are able... It's a good point, Riv. Well said. Pretty much very true. If they're able... You know, if Azure is able to beat Cloud9 here, it would be huge. I have to say, like, Cloud9 or Orbit or X-Quantic is a really powerful team online normally. Like, they're seen as one of the top teams in North America. If they get knocked out in the group stage, it would be the upset of the tournament thus far.
Oh, here he comes. High on 9 was just up top for the gank, but he's going to be here again. The wards, or not the wards, rather, the minions aren't there to show him, but he is going to be backing off. He says, I'm a little too far here. Bottom lane is pushed up quite far. Are they coming back? They are. Just got a few buys. Dorans.
Oh, and Banish Toss up top. We got to see it.
It looks like they are going to be going in on it. Nothing here. A lot of damage. Stays there with 200 HP in the undertow to trade back some damage.
Oh, man. Got a little excited there. I thought for sure nothing here was going to go down, but High ran out of mana. He wasn't able to follow up his Banish Toss with a Tantrum. Even then, though, they're going to get a heap of damage onto this turret as DJ Lambo comes up to try to support.
Yeah, High trying to just force these minions out. They're trying to get damage onto this turret. Deny XP. Here comes the teleport in. They get the fear down onto High. Can the undertow hit? And it took him a little to get the grasp onto Olaf. He couldn't throw it away.
You're not going to believe it, but nothing here forgot to buy when he teleported back to base.
Oh my gosh, didn't have time. Trying to get back in for the kill here. Demon looking to grab one onto Twitch. He may go down. Wild Turtle very hurt. One last auto attack. Bloodwater picks it up. The double kill coming up here. Bloodwater, one more auto attack, and he finds it.
Nunu slapped him to death twice. Double kill. That bottom lane for them Demonol and Bloodwater is crushing. In all 3 games, they have been completely unstoppable. That is an amazing amount of synergy picked up in just a couple of days for those guys.
Yeah, I don't know how they're doing it. We saw, what was it, the first game? Ezreal 18-something?
18-0 with a pentakill.
18-0 with a pentakill.
Not 0. That was like 3.
Okay, 18-3.
I don't know why I said that.
Good. It
sounded
good.
more impressive.
You were having a little dream. So Beastanzo in mid here. Let's look at this, 68-51. That's a pretty good gold lead he's got going on. He's going to be looking at 17 minions now as he just grabbed 1. But that for him is just meaning, you're right, he's pushing that lane down. He's keeping Ahri under the turret, Orianna under the turret, and she doesn't have the mana to continue.
It's supposed to be the counter matchup, and thus far, looks like he's doing pretty well. I wouldn't say he's really hard countering him, though.
Right.
Considering you got the early blue buff, that is Beastanzo got it, 73-58 against Orianna. Nothing amazing. It's good that you have 2 farmed AD carries. Not all AD carries are capable of going mid, so it is good in the sense that they are getting a farmed AD carry. Since Wild Turtle's getting shut down on Twitch, at least they'll have 1, but not the most impressive matchup, and it's definitely not making up for the fact that Wild Turtle is getting beaten so badly by Demonol and Bloodwater.
And this is going to be tough coming in for high. We look at his items, and you're trying to gank a Demon Lol Bloodwater down bottom, that Nunu MF. They have Blood Boil. You have Nocturne that can speed up. You have Orianna that can speed up, and Olaf that can slow. He doesn't have boots yet, so his ganks are going to be quite lackluster here, and they need to start making moves. They're down by 1,000 gold.
Yeah, even though they invaded to steal the blue buff, the fact that Hive gave away his own blue buff does set you a little bit behind the cliff.
Yuzuki, that's a pretty fair trade there.
High spending a lot of time thinking about going bottom, but he's already just decided to back off. Maybe thinks that gank would be a disaster in bottom lane. And that 3-0 start, this is reminiscent of Azure's last game against Martin. They started 6-0 and then weren't able to finish it out.
Top lane going strong. Ragnarok goes out for nothing here. Does he decide to stay onto Yuzuki? Yuzuki's ultimate is down. A little reckless swing brings him down to 100 health, but the minion damage forces him out, Jet.
So close. Yuzuki with a sliver flashes into the brush, makes sure nothing here has to follow him out. And that 1v1 matchup is just a brawl fest up top, 62-59.
Yeah.
Those guys are going at it, and it is close.
We can see just how much they're trading in damage. Look at the items. You know, Riven only had that sword and a Doran's, and she was trading with a double cloth, boots, Doran's, Olaf. So this could get bad as Riven comes back to lane. As you said, he didn't buy that first time, so he had to go back and get it the second time.
Yeah, nothing here.
Oh, the ultimate Wild Turtle very low on mana. He does not have his flash, but he does have cleanse, and that will be enough. They are, however, going to go on Lemon Nation, not using Wild Growth. It was up, but he flashed and lost that, or exhausted rather, sorry.
Yeah, and Nunu's on a killing spree. Here comes.
Oh, he dodges the missile because of the command shockwave, misses another one, and the kill comes up for Shousters. An amazing shockwave from Orianna.
2 games in a row for Azure Gaming. They're up 6 kills to 0, and they're taking this dragon here. Unreal close action there. Beastanzo thought for sure he was going to finish off those kills, but the gank and the dive, I mean, the only negative about this is 3 of the kills are on Bloodwater's Nunu, and not enough kills are on Demon Law, but slaps are slapping a lot of kills out of...
Yeah, slapping everything. Willem and Nunu are going at it hard right now. Well, see, back to top lane, that brawl fest we were talking about, just each other in the face. They have a ping down onto Riven. Looking back at Nocturne, that was his ping, and his ultimate is down and should be when he gets there. So it looks like it's just going to be a regular basic Dustbringer gank. And if they decide to do anything, we'll make sure to look at that as Nocturne approaches that lane. 11 minutes in, Jat, 4,000 gold lead. They were able to take Dragon. That last fight quite definitive. They're starting to grab this.
I mean, we heard Niantanso and Yuzuki talking. We had that awesome feature on them. It's like they haven't been together. They really want to win this and get a gaming house, but for now, it's going to temporarily be over if they lose this one. Yuzuki getting ganked up top.
And there it is. Nocturne just taking it slowly but surely. They get back to Yuzuki, who just flashed in the bush. The terror is on. He comes back to lane. Oh, he gets out with the dash, but finds himself once again in the death chamber.
Great gank there by DJ Lambo. Just Yuzuki went a little too far. Nothing here, popped his ghost, and that was just the brute force lane gank from Nocturne. No red buff, no ult, and it still got a kill. Now they're diving high.
Yeah, they are going to dive high. They're
not.
trading damage a little bit. It went out to Nocturne first. Wow, reckless swing. A third of Amumu's health. That is not what you want to see. He levels up and gets a little HP MP back. but it looks like they're forced both to back up here. Corky is roaming a little bit now. He is 110, so he's got some time to waste.
Yeah, you can see that Nothing here is going with a maxed E Olaf build. A lot of times you'll see them split points between their Axe and their E. That depends if they're in a solo or a dual lane, as Beast Tonso goes down on a Shouster.
Shredding him with Gatling, the final missile. The shockwave actually cancels the minute he would have been sucked in.
They really needed that. The first team blood really arriving at 12 minutes and 20 seconds there for Beast Tonso. That's the counter lane he wants to go in. And you can see it's because of how easily he finishes him down. One of the big reasons it's a counter lane, so many Oriannas go for that Athene's Unholy Grail, which is great against other mages. But the magic resist is completely useless against Corky.
Lambo taking some shots, dodges that one out. Looks like he will return to the jungle with slight vision, so he returns down to the left. He says, all right, I will take your wraiths. Very nice. Thank you very much. Looks like they're going to get some wards down bottom. Still a very aggressive lane between Demon Mole and Bloodwater, consistently pushed back to that turret. 104 CS to 80, Jack.
And the big thing is just the gold because of the 3 deaths. It's 4,500 gold to 3,100 between Wild Turtle and Demon Lull. And the support gold, actually, Bloodwater's got 300 more gold than Wild Turtle as well. Only he was building AD.
Oh, Nothing here. Actually senses he does not. His Spidey sense going off for sure. Goes to grab the axe. It could be his death, though. The Ragnarok goes off. They have a good amount of burst damage to hit him with, but with that W on, he's going to get Spell Vamp back. It keeps him good and healthy.
And Yuzuki just didn't have his ultimate up. It must have been from an earlier gank. Hai didn't want to blow through his Amumu ultimate, but he might look to flash ult or just land Bandage.
Beautiful job by Nothing here. He draws that in, and he may go down, but it's going to be Shousters and Lambo to clean this one up. Yuzuki's flash is still down from the previous 2 fights, and a third time going down possibly. Great ball movement by Orianna, and they cancel him in, finalizing the kill. A third one for Yuzuki. Bottom bullet time onto Wild Turtle, as he has to go invis and force back to the turret. The aggression in every lane.
Lemon Nation really saved Wild Turtle's life, polymorphing Demon Lull during that bullet time. And the action continues. No, it doesn't. I think it's over. I'm sorry. They're chasing down bottom.
It will be. These guys are hungry. Cloud9 knows they need to make some plays, but that's where it gets scary. They do a lot of damage. We just saw Corky take out Orianna, but that's an easy way to get yourself tunnel vision and think you can 1v1 anybody.
And even though it started 6-0, going to 8-2 now with only a 3,000 gold advantage, it's got to be getting in Azure's head right now. The fact that they've been so close to just been like 6-0 in the clinching game to make it out of the group twice. They got to be able to finish this one.
In all
it just
honesty,
has to happen.
It's been a game of fights. Every turret still stands on the map. Well, one
Except
turret
for that
rather.
one.
Except, yeah. Thanks, guys.
Blue buff being taken again by Beast Tonso on Corky. For those of you wondering, that is Nian Tonso.
Yes.
Formerly Nian as well. Used to play AD carry for Orbit, who is now same team with his name, Cloud9. Both of these teams really expected to make it in. Marn, with the upsets, first online team making it in, making this group way more interesting, just because it means one of the teams that pre-qualified is going home today.
You know, Jet, this is quite interesting. Riven building that pen. We see Olaf building HP to mitigate.
That is not the best idea, in all honesty. Pen, it's a misconception. Health does not counter pen. The closer you get to 0, the more damage percentage they do to you. And that's, you know, health helps because it's still tank stats.
Right.
But armor is just as good.
So he does have the 2 cloth. He actually went for Boots of Lucidity to get out those undertows and the Reckless Swings.
Really got to see now double buff onto Nian Tonso. They're trying to put all their cookies in the Corky basket right now because he's 173 farm. No one else on the team is at 100. All the gold for them is on Nian Tonso. He's 5,600. No one else on his team is above 4,100. Well, now with the turret, they very slightly are. Taking down the turret, he's their key to get back in this game.
Yeah, I don't know when the last time is, and no bad play to Wild Turtle, just Demon Lull Bloodwater going so hard that an AD by 16 minutes does not have over 100 CS. That is amazing aggression they've put on that lane.
They're completely shutting it down. That's one of the things about picking Twitch. He's very much all in, right? He can stealth in, but mainly it's an ambush. You get attack speed for that. If you're not using your stealth to engage, you're pretty much never trading with anybody. So since they fell behind in that lane against Misfortune and Nunu, he's been completely on his heels the entire time, and they're really punishing him for it.
Looks like he's going right for that Infinity Edge. He wants to get the burst down from his lane. He can stay behind a tanky Amumu. See what they do. Riven also Riven actually building for just that straight damage like we saw Mega Zero doing. This dragon to be grabbed up. 22:55 is going to be your dragon timer as it comes back up, and an Oracles will now help Azure Gaming start to control the map.
That is a early Oracles, but because Bloodwater has so many kills, they're really looking for the map control at this point. He's spending his gold to try to better his team's chances. Ruby Sightstone Oracles, Vision bot Nunu right there. Got to push up mid. They took the bottom turret. They know that Wild Turtle is stuck bottom farming. Going to look to push on this, but it's very hard to push against a blue buffed Corki. Let's see if they can make something happen.
And they're actually going to go straight on him. There's the ultimate pull in time. They go in. Wild Growth onto him. It's just above in the scoreboard. I couldn't see his HP, but he gets out alive, and they're forced back on that one. But if it's going to take that every time for the ultimate to be stopped, that's going to be a tough fight for Cloud9.
Barely keeping Neon Tanso alive, baiting out the Nocturne Outlaw in all honesty.
Yep.
And Lemon Nation saved him with the Wild Growth. But because of that, that means they're going to continue this push up top, or in the middle. 4 members still there. They might try to get on this push, but Amumu has his ultimate. Going to be tricky.
A great job here coming from nothing here, using that teleport to guard the turret down bottom, so the split push is to no avail coming in from Cloud9 now, and they really have to focus on saving this turret mid. And it looks like they will get Azure to disperse, but Wild Turtle in a very bad spot. He goes in Viz, and we can just see him running around. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? And he sees him. Will he be able to get there? Throws out the flask, and he's chased away.
It's a good thing nothing here decided to turn away at that moment, because Neon Tanso was going to be coming down there for the gank. Now we shall see how Azure closes, because the 6-0 advantage really hasn't been capitalized on whatsoever. It's moved to 8-2. The gold is again sneaking away from them. They have to find a way to close. Yuzuki shoving up top lane, going to get another turret and bring this gold even closer for Cloud9.
So, Ja, as this turret goes down, taking a look back at the comment about the Athenes versus Corki in middle, seeing that, you know, knowing these guys' play style, how they play, and what they're going up against, he's just decided to do that still and hit the early Zonias, or should he have done something different already?
The early Zonias on Orianna would have been a tricky choice for them.
Right.
Like, you really need the mana control. Whether you get that through a Wrath of Ages, a Tear, or Nathine's Unholy Grail is kind of undecided. It's why the Corki matchup is so hard for him, because Orianna is one of the few casters who needs to itemize mana, and there's not
A lot of recipes that have armor in it for mana.
not any of them, I don't think.
Proud.
Yeah, but that's not an Orianna item.
Right, exactly.
You know? So it's just, it makes her build completely counterintuitive to what she wants.
Yeah, great play right out of the game, playing those mind games with the champions, the picks and bans. See, good gathering here down towards the Dragon Den. No damage really being done as they dance it about. Back and forth, the wards being cleared. Nunu trying to get the most out of that Oracles and get his return. They actually give that to Lambo on the CS.
They still haven't been able to get this mid turret down, though, and they're putting so much attention to it. It's a 3v5 in the mid lane here, actually, with split pushing. They might want to make something happen, but Riven and Twitch are both split pushing. Either Azure has to go now, or they have to fall back.
They have to go hard, but Curse of the Sad Mummy is up, but seeing 5 in their face causes them to back. One turret goes down. Riven's got quite a while on that one, and Twitch is still waiting for a full minion wave to go down before he can even touch that. The teams are now dispersing back at their lanes. Let's see what Twitch can do. He should be able to get out easy, but it's all about that Riven run here.
And look at this. It's a 2,000 gold lead now. Wild Turtle still split pushing. I feel like he's going to have to pull some wizardry to get into this one.
And he pits his rose. Oh, the
no.
pink ward. He walks right into it. And Bloodwater just continues to keep them in his inventory.
Well,
Actually,
at least
wasn't even his.
Twitch wasn't worth much. In all honesty, he's 0-3. He's the man to be having split pushing right now. You already have a farmed AD carry that is guaranteed. Neon Tanso's mid lane Corki provides that. Wild Turtle just trying to farm up so his spray and pray means something. And when you consider that this game is stretching later and later, the fact that they have 2 AD carries versus only the one from Azure does give them a bit of a late game edge if they can get it there. I thought they were going to lose control of this early, much like our last game between Azure and Team Marn, but Azure Gaming showing that they can't group up and just finish.
Neon Tanso is super focused on this game right now. He understands that his team is riding on his back. 229 farm. He is in the jungle whenever he does not see a minion in the lane. He is over 40 CS higher than the opposing team altogether.
That is really quite remarkable. And when you consider the fact that High is not even behind DJ Lambo on top of that, it really just shows you how well Niantanso is farming.
He's keeping it in mind. You can see him staying. There's more waves coming in. And like you said, Twitch is doing what he needs to as they split push. He's causing trouble for the team. Bloodwater putting pressure on here. Ward's going down to the bush, and we'll see it over and over. A fight of wards during the fight of abilities. It's going to be on to High. He does have Curse of the Sad Mummy up. Will he decide to use it for the escape? They may save it for a regular fight, and they choose to walk out and fight another day.
And look at this, as long as they can stall while their team split pushes, Corki and Twitch are both pushing up, and AZG can't get fights. They might lose their bottom turret off of trying to make that initiation, and all it cost Cloud9 was a Lulu wall.
You know, I really like what Cloud9 is doing right now as well. They're not allowing AZG to back. They're making him take the long walk home here.
And now they're going to keep the pressure up because they put enough poke down that AZG could not collapse down onto Wild Turtle's Twitch. And for an 0-4 Twitch that got obliterated in the lane, he's creating a lot of tactical advantages for his team.
I'm very surprised with what he is doing, especially the ins and outs of his escape so far. He kind of lost out on the last one, but we've seen it happen before. We have the focus on to Dragon. It's 23 minutes in. There are some good damage items here, but I don't think it's the Baron dance just yet. We're still going to see some fights, some more finished items from these teams, and then we'll get into that Baron section of the game.
Yep, this is another uncontested Dragon here for Azure. Cloud9 still not ready to fight. Twitch hasn't bought items in a really long time, and you can see him a little worried about Demon Wall. He's going to try to make his way out of here.
Yep, they both head their separate ways. He feels all right. He has the movement speed to get out of this one. You know what's really funny is I've actually been hearing a lot of the carries, and then their team say, no, don't do that, is, dude, if the game gets late enough, I'm selling my boots for Zephyr.
I can see it. And Wild Turtle's in a lot of trouble, having to flash away immediately.
Almost. That range quite long. The flash cleanse is off, so he's not going to have anything for the next fight. But then again, bullet time is down as well. Yuzuki cleaning out the lanes. They're all even in the mids right now. It's really someone to be caught out. Dragon has been taken down. Who's going to make the next mistake?
So it's 9-2. The game has been without team fight action for quite a while. Ever since Cloud9 decided to institute split pushing, it just hasn't created action. They're just stalling it out. They're farming up. It's going to be really telling whether Shouster's Orianna ultimate can hit Niantanso and Wild Turtle together or not. If they space well as AD carries, they're going to be fairly effective, but if they dogpile in improperly around Hai's Mumu ultimate, that's when they're going to lose. They need to make sure to spread out because Orianna and MF are hitting huge, wide radiuses, and everyone is squishy aside from Mumu, so they have to make sure they just don't get bursted down. That's going to be what loses it for them, if anything.
Bloodthirster being picked up onto Riven, as well as her Brutalizer to keep that pen damage down. Olaf building a lot of armor, actually finishing that Randuin's Omen after just getting the Giant's belt, so I guess he was just looking for a little HP in lane, and he got the money off that assist and the farm. The farm pretty even between the top lanes, so that's not really where the factor of the game is coming from. That focus has been Beast Tanso. Right now, we do see that Azure Gaming is in the lead, but our focus for Cloud9 is on, right now, Beast Tanso is his name for the fight. We'll have to see what he can do. He could get caught out here. The Dustbringer goes down. He was hit, so he's forced out of this engagement, chat, and it looks like Azure has the upper hand here.
For the first time in quite a while, they do not have split pushes active. The pressure of the map has been retaken by Azure. Now they're trying to push up mid. Olaf is bottom, but he has his teleport available, so if they decide to do something sneaky on top of this middle turret, they're going to be able to teleport in. Let's see if Cloud9 can hold.
So it's some pretty good poke. They don't have a ton of it, but they can get those Dustbringers out. They got the Orianna ball and the Undertow. They are just able to cut down these waves. Jat coming in very strong. Still trying to leave Twitch off to the side to farm up and get that farm in. He's actually only 30 down now. Actually 20 down. He's really closing that gap.
Yeah, I mean, Infinity Edge and Azeel is behind for 26 minutes, but it's still respectable damage in a team fight.
Especially when you don't have to get in the team fight. You just shoot it from however much range away.
A million.
Millions of
range. It's actually
range.
1,100.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like a million. Beast Tanso still farming it up. 9 away from 300 at 26 minutes into the game. Usually you see that on a Karthus.
But today it's a Corki.
Today it's a
Because
Corki.
that is the Orianna counter they have picked. 100 more than Shousters, which is really impressive when you consider they've been losing the game.
Yeah, 100, actually over 100 CS, 107 CS over right now. That is quite a lead. Great bandage tossed by High. Very cute.
Yeah. Beast Hanzo actually hit 300 at the 26-minute and 30-second mark. It's not the record. That is Froggen, which I believe was like 22:43, but that's still very respectable. That's a really quick 300 CS landmark.
And he's got the items. He is actually going for the static shiv as well. They are pushing in every lane possible, and once they get that, and once they get control, once they get some wards, possibly in the jungle at least, they can start to do that a little bit more.
And the split push just continues, man. Like, they've had the oracles. Bloodwater's on his second oracles at this point, but they haven't really forced anything out of it aside from a couple dragons. And again, Wild Turtle is just bottom lane, farming up a storm.
Closing in on that. Still that 20 CS away, 0-4 and 0. If he comes in to be a huge factor in these fights, I'm going to be blown away. They are just allowing him to stay down there, and no real ground, you just said it, has been gained by Azure yet. They've found a few turrets, but the Baron here, they've finally starting to use that Oracle.
They were a little tired of the poke and the split push and all of that harassment and annoyance and inability to start fights. They're trying to clear inside of Baron. They're trying to wait for Cloud9 to come in, but Cloud9 is just showing how patient they really are. I mean, the fact that they've had multiple instances where just 3 of them were there, and they could not be engaged on despite having Nocturne and Orianna ults and the speed of Nunu really just tells me they're waiting for Cloud9 to engage, and Cloud9 doesn't want to, which is why we're not seeing much action.
I'm quite surprised, but then again not. 2 Infinity Edges are probably what changed the mind of AZG, but they just saw High L9 use his smite on a siege minion in middle. So they have Nunu, and they also have Smite from Nocturne. They can easily take this down from over regular Smite health. Here comes the teleport in. They're going to slowly back away from this one. Great damage coming from Beast Hanzo, though. One more shot on the Bloodwater, and he gets the perfect bait in. There's the command shockwave. They start to turn this fight around, chat. Yuzuki is on the outside taking a lot of damage. The finalizing paranoia, and Lambo goes down as a hero in that fight for his team. But do they have the damage from the outside? Demon Lol has not been able to shoot for the past 3 or 4 seconds. He was out of range, and the damage is kind of being traded the other way now. Nothing here, very hurt. We do see Lula going down as well. Twitch falls. It's all up to High L9 to stay alive, and there it is. They clean it up from Baron to mid.
They finally get the ace, and that was all because Nian Tanso got caught in the Orianna ult with the MF bullet time coming in through that. Now it's on them. They're going to try to 3-man this Baron. Will they finally get over the hump? They've been so close to beating Team Marn in the last game. Azure Gaming finally stopping the split push momentarily. The reason that fight works so well is because Wild Turtle had to come all the way from bot lane, whereas Olaf teleported up, and they should be able to 3-man this Baron and get a bit of a stranglehold on this match.
You know, Jat, it's like the entire team had a gigantic U power curve. They came out very strong. We just had a mid game where it seems like everybody set up a cot and grabbed a pillow, and then we're going right back up again.
Ready for action.
Ready for action.
Took a little break.
Yeah.
Nap time. Now they're back.
Here we are, 30 minutes in, 14-4, right on the dot. At that 30 minutes, guys, our final elimination match of the day, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us here, I don't know what you were doing all day because you've been here for plus 12 hours, and I know a lot of you have too. Thanks for joining in for the entire stream. Hundreds of thousands of you enjoying. A fist bump to you. Fist bump your monitor. The first of 2013. Just do it.
Not too hard.
Not too hard. No, that's bad.
Monitors are a little fragile.
So here we go, a dragon being taken up. No real objectives to worry over right now, and a definitive lead and dictation of the game. Where are they going to go next?
I believe that's the 4th dragon they've gotten in a row. Now that they've taken both the objectives, it's on them to siege again. They're going to poke down. They're going to hope Shousters gets a good Orianna ball placement. They're going to hope DJ Lambo can dive in. But even after all that, they have the Baron buff. They only got a 6,000 gold lead. They're still having to deal with 280 carries that have Last Whispers, and that was brilliant purchases, by the way, by Cloud9. The armor from Olaf and the tank Nocturne really stopped the double 80 carries from kicking in. If they can ever drop that tank line while they still have a sliver of health left, that is Cloud9, they're going to mop the floor with Azure.
This could be very, very scary. You said that before. If it comes to fruition, I fear it happening as well. It just seems like it would fall over like dominoes. Score still holding true at that 14-4. Everybody's clearing up. We see Azure now pushing in with that Baron once again. We'll have to see if they can utilize this. They're now split pushing against that Twitch. They can't do much with the regeneration, even on the poke, waiting for this minion wave to come in. Looks like that turret is going to be taking a good amount of damage here from Demon Lol. No, quickly backing off. High. Wow. Just that ball dissonance did a good 1/7 of his health.
You could really see in the bottom lane when Nothing here was getting shot by Wild Turtle how puny and tiny Wild Turtle felt shooting Olaf, because he did about 3 damage is what it looked like.
And you can see Olaf standing there, taking the turret for his team.
He is really strong right now. The Orianna shield on top of that is making this push much more manageable than I thought it would be.
You know, that was so dominating. He didn't even run in and activate W, get more damage, and help take down the turret. He said, we're going to do this right in front of you with no minion wave.
And until High goes all in and initiates, which they don't really want to do on a full Baroned up team, they're going to have to sit there and take it, but they don't want to give up their inhibitor either. So we're going to see some very interesting action if Nothing here decides to do the same thing to this turret that he did to the last one.
1, 2, 3, they take that ward out. The Oracles won't help. You see this big push coming down in that bottom lane. Where will they go from here? Chat, you said they're going to push onto this turret. It's going to have to be interesting to see how they stop it. Will they even try? The ball is put out for a little bit of positioning. They do lose a turret on this one, but that's not really something that should make them go back. The wave they have there could slow it down, and they need to use this Baron. They only have a minute left, so it's going to spawn in 4 at 37 minutes.
It's going to be decision time here because they have 2 outer turrets in the top and bottom lane that they'd be able to take cleanly if they don't think they're going to be able to take in this mid one. They've now sat 2 waves here and not gotten a single point of damage. The fact that they haven't decided to do anything makes me think they might fight on this wave.
And it looks like it. That Paranoia goes straight in. Wild Growth goes up. Curse of the Sad Mummy, but he doesn't even stay in to do the spare damage. He knows he has to get out. A beautiful double kill Shockwave. The triple kill, no, the kill coming in from Nunu, rather. You kind of look like Orianna in the shots. Riven taking one down. MF coming up with a double kill as well. And it looks like they get the full house onto Cloud9. This could be a big push for them.
They stuck around and decided to just go all in. That's an ace, 30-second death timers. Everyone got clumped in the Orianna ult, and you can't have that happen when you're a team of people who can't take damage. This looks like the end for Cloud9's journey at the regionals. Azure will be moving on, Riv.
Azure Gaming playing a very strong one. The U power curve, that middle game looked very scary, but they were able to come back. That was a beautiful Baron. And you can see them very happy with themselves. Really a huge hand to Demon Lol and Bloodwater throughout the matches for these guys.
It's got to be an emotional roller coaster for Azure because after a loss like that for Team Marn, it takes a lot of internal character to regroup and play an elimination match 15 minutes after a devastating almost throw loss that they had against Team Marn. So
these guys know they had more than 0%.
We have our 8 teams moving on to tomorrow.
It is going to be a big 8, and they will be playing tomorrow for the second day. As we said, first place teams play against the second place teams of another group, so we scatter them up and match them head to head.
So Azure Gaming, really strong. We have a replay of that last part, and this is the fight they've been waiting for, really the entire game. They just have Olaf go in and watch how pretty much everyone groups up for this Orianna ult. She waits so long to get it, but the ball goes in. Boom! Everyone but Beast Tonso pretty much. And because they were so tanky, because they had double tank line, Corgi being that fed didn't really matter quite enough. They could never quite get through it. He killed one. He killed DJ Lamba. Wasn't enough.
That was an amazing team fight. And like you said, the patience of the Orianna ult. And been playing Orianna quite a bit lately, and you wait for that too. You're like, where is it? Where is it? Sometimes you have to flash for you, like, flash throw, take that. And it's so satisfying. You saw how much damage you get out of it. She quickly moved the ball over to Olaf, and that was another probably 300 damage at that point in the game from her, just from a ball movement. And there was just way too much fight from them.
Yeah, Shousters had been farming all game. I mean, we kept talking about Nian Tanso's Corki. Sure, Orianna was behind in farm. Total gold-wise, though, it was even because of all the dragons, all the turrets, the Baron buff, 12,000 gold worth of Orianna items. It's enough to take out the squishy Twitch.
This is true.
It did it.
That push comp was the push lanes was actually pretty cool for that 5-10 minutes though. It was actually that increase of are they going to come back? But unfortunately, we are going to see Cloud9 have to take a backseat in elimination here in the season qualifiers for Season 3. It is going to be coming up next. We take a look back at all the ups and downs from Season 3 North American qualifiers so far. Everything from today. And we'll tell you what to expect in Day 2, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go anywhere.